Hey guys, Nameless Guy here. Now I did something a little different last week where I played some trailers and just kind of chatted over it. The video was actually received quite well, so I thought I'd do something similar this week. So E3 is now upon us, so I thought I'd go over the games I'm most excited to see this year at E3. So Sony's not going to be here this year, which is obviously a big change from previous E3s. They've been doing the monthly State of Play conferences instead. So obviously that means there's going to be no Last of Us 2, no Ghost of Tsushima. There'll still be like PlayStation 4 multi-platform games like Call of Duty and the like for sure. So it's not like there's nothing there for PlayStation owners. So with Sony not attending the conference, this is really going to leave the door open for Microsoft to drum up some support for their Xbox. Apparently they have 14 first-party games they're going to show this year, which is definitely more than they normally do. That's something they've been struggling with in this generation. Also, with Sony having kind of semi-announced the PlayStation 5 this spring, I imagine we're going to hear more about Microsoft's next box as well. So now there's a lot of games that I do want to play that I'm not necessarily excited to see footage for, that I'm not really going to talk about in this video. So what I mean by that is there's some games that you kind of know how they're going to play before you play them. So kind of example of that I would use would be Borderlands 3 or Doom Eternal. Forza Motorsport. I kind of know what I'm getting with those games, so while I'm excited to get those games down the road, it's not really something I'm super excited to see at E3. But enough preamble here, let's go over the games I am most excited to see. Number one is Halo Infinite. Now Halo isn't as big of a draw as it used to be, but that being said, Halo 4 and Halo 5 were still excellent first-person shooters, as well as technical powerhouses. Now with Microsoft's kind of renewed emphasis on PC, I imagine we'll see Halo Infinite on PC as well. Last year we saw a quick little announcement for it, but it was kind of more just a showcase for their new Slipstream engine and not really anything substantial. So here's hoping that we get to actually see some more footage. Number two is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now I just watched the trailer for this one last week and I am beyond excited. This new trailer has me as excited as I've ever really been for Call of Duty since probably Modern Warfare 2. The original Modern Warfare is my favorite of the entire franchise, and with this new one going back to a more grounded, serious tone, it has me very excited. The new engine they've been working on looks phenomenal. I'm excited to see if they can still hold that Call of Duty low latency, high frame rate gameplay and keep the level of performance where it always is with all these new graphical improvements, because it looks like a big step up from the previous games. Number three is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So now EA has held the Star Wars license for quite a few years now, and they still haven't really made a proper single player game. Battlefront 2 had a campaign, but it definitely wasn't the focus of the game. So this is made by Respawn Entertainment, the guys who did the excellent Titanfall games as well as more recently Apex Legends. It'll be interesting to see what they can do with something that's not a first person shooter, if they can still maintain that high level of quality with an action adventure game. Now we've already seen a story trailer for this recently, but it sounds like we're going to actually get to see some proper gameplay. Let's be honest, after Mass Effect Andromeda, Battlefield 5's poor sales, and Anthem's absolute tanking, EA could really use a hit right now. And we all love Jedis. I mean, that really has limitless potential for video games. Number four is Dying Light 2. Techland has been showing pretty steady improvements with every game they've put out. So if they can improve upon the already excellent zombie parkour action of the first Dying Light, then we all should be in for a pretty big treat. Great gameplay aside, the first Dying Light story was pretty mediocre. So Techland has tried to correct that by teaming up with the fabled game scribe Chris Avellone. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Now he's done some writing for Obsidian Games and Interplay in the past, so some of the older Fallout games, as well as Planescape Torment, games that are very well known for their stories. So hopefully that carries over into Dying Light 2 as well and corrects kind of its only real significant problem from the original game. Number five is Marvel's Avengers game. So with Endgame setting box office records, really the hype for a proper Avengers game is as high as it really could be right now. So Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics of the Tomb Raider reboot fame. So with this one being described as an action adventure with single player / cooperative continuous gameplay, whatever that means, I think we're getting something like a Borderlands or a Destiny here. Character customization, maybe looter shooter sort of elements. Now we've seen no real footage of this one up until this point, so it'll be interesting to see what the gameplay actually looks like, and therefore it's one I'm very excited to see. Last but not least, it doesn't really get much bigger than this, people. Cyberpunk 2077. So this is made by CD Projekt Red, who did arguably the game of the generation, this generation, The Witcher 3. So Cyberpunk 2077 is a first-person RPG this time, set in a cyberpunk setting. The scale of the game looks absolutely off the charts and packed with detail. And we know the devs know how to create a good RPG with excellent storytelling and an interesting world. I can't wait to see what they can do with the new series. This is highly, highly anticipated for me, guys. So there you have it, guys, the games I'm most excited for at this year's E3. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave some comments about the games you're most excited to see. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.